Hey there, just a quick reminder, we have a mentorship program if you're looking for personalized coaching and mentorship to help guide you to the next level of your interior design business, whatever that might look like for you, whether it's processes and procedures or what services to offer to how to incorporate wellness, intention, or spirituality into your projects. Come join us over at designcoven.com/join. Or if you're just in search to connect with other like-minded interior designers, you can join our free community, also located at designcoven.com/join. We are on episode 20, and today's episode is a recording of Tarot Tuesday, which happens every first Tuesday of the month in my Patreon membership group, which is the membership group that supports this podcast. So without all of you beautiful members, we would not have this show. So gratitude for all of you. But on the first Tuesday of every month, we have a tarot deck creator or an oracle card creator come on, share their art with us, share their inspiration, talk about their origin story, how they got connected with the cards, and why they decided to create their deck. This week, today, we have Kerri from Kombucha Design on with her deck, Radiant Crystal Cards. This is an oracle deck that she has created, connecting us to crystals. Her first deck I had on before through my Patreon. I haven't released it here on Bewitching the Home. So this is her second deck. It's absolutely stunning, absolutely gorgeous. And I would love to invite all of you to a Tarot Tuesday. The next one coming up is June 7th, which is the first Tuesday of June. And the Patreon starts at only $5. You do get a reading at the beginning of the month through Tarot Tuesday. And then there's other tiers. You can also sign up for a 3-card reading for the month or a half an hour reading with me. I hope you enjoy this episode. It gives you a little sneak peek of what we do on Tarot Tuesday. You're listening to the Holistic Interior Design Business Podcast. This is a podcast that guides you as a new or inspiring independent interior designer navigating your entrepreneurial path. Here, with my over 20 years experience, I will share my holistic approach to design with intention and ancient practices, including Feng Shui, all incorporating mind, body, and spirit into my design projects. You will also learn from seasoned interior designers as they give strategies and insight of how they built their businesses and continue to work in the field. Together, we will discover supportive trade partners, new ideas, creatives, and inspiring artists from around the world. I am your host, Rachel Larraine Crawford. Alrighty, welcome to our first Tarot Tuesday on Bewitching the Home. We gather on Patreon the first Tuesday of every month where we pull cards. And this is a really special Tarot Tuesday because I actually have the deck creator here with us today. And before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and open up some space for us. So first thing I like to do is light a candle. So if any of you have a candle that you want to light as well, feel free to do that. And of course, I've got a Mithras beeswax candle, as always. Just in love with these. So just calling in any guides, any spirits that want to come and connect with us for our best and highest good. I'm going to ring our bell to get us in the present moment. And typically I would be pulling a card right now, but we're going to save the card pulls toward the end. But I do want to share my brew because Nova Kombucha is our sponsor for this episode. And I've mentioned it before, I'm not like a big vinegar person. So this is like the alternative. And we're in the evening, so I actually get to drink an alcoholic kombucha. Usually I drink like, the non-alcoholic kombuchas in the morning. But we're filming this in the evening, so I get to enjoy that. And this one is the peach passion fruit, which is unbelievable. So good. It's like literally biting into a peach, and I'm just so excited
to have Nova with us to share their goodness and their probiotics and all the things. And I'm happy to have Kerri with us, who is the founder of Bouchette Design. She is also an interior designer, which is super, super rad for me to have another designer connect and being able to share this magical world. Kerri, I would love to know if you've got any magical brew that you're connecting with this evening.
Oh, you know what? I drink so much water. I drink lemon water. I think in the evenings I usually do like a warm water with lemon in it. But I am just kind of one of those weird people that drink like nothing but water. So yeah.
You're an inspiration because I feel like everybody has that intention that we're always trying to consume water and it's just never enough. I think today I went to like 3 showrooms and each one I was like, okay, I'll take the water. Like I will never like say no to a water.
Water too. I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kerri, before we get into your origin story, I would love to know, what is home for you? What does home look like for you? I know you're on the northwest coast here.
Yeah. I am in Snoqualmie, Washington, which is right on the foothills of the Cascade Mountains. So actually just outside of my home we're just surrounded by mountains, which is so amazing. And like right now, today was actually amazing because it's really cold. You know, we're kind of in that weird transition. So just the tips of the mountains are all white and then everything, then the sun is just it's so gorgeous right now. And so, yeah, we live in kind of like this Washington, if you guys, well, a lot of places, but Washington has just been pushing out building. So we're now out, into the foothills here. So, but it's like 30 minutes from the city, 30 minutes from Seattle. So it's not far.
Oh, beautiful. And what is home right now? Where are you?
Yeah. So, okay. So my home, Rachel, I mean, you and I could talk for hours. We have gutted our house. We bought it and it's a newer community, but we bought our home like maybe almost 4 years ago. And we have just gutted literally the whole house. I mean, everything. So our next thing is building a deck, but I would say overall, like our home is modern. It's on the modern side, and but it's kind of eclectic, right? Because my husband loves crystals too, so we have crystals around and tarot cards and just kind of, and my boys love playing with that stuff as well. So it's just cozy and it reflects us, which is the best.
Yeah, I didn't know you had boys. That's amazing. That's really exciting.
Yeah, 2 boys, and they as they get older, they're 12 and 14. So, they get they're like, okay, that's a little woo woo, how as you get older, but they still do play with cards and they have crystals. Yeah, it's fun.
I feel like I'm looking in a mirror because
Yeah.
my boys are the same way. They have their crystals. My oldest one's like making his own tarot deck. Like they're very
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. So yeah, tell me about I know I had you on Patreon a while ago with your first deck that we have here with the Maracai Tarot, and I've got you back on. So tell us, I would love to know, like, what inspired the crystal deck?
So I've been working with crystals. I want to say it's been at least 30 years, as long as tarot, actually. It's kind of all happened at the same time, just finding it, because again, when I grew up, there was no internet. Like that's not what we had. So it's really like going into the bookstore and hanging out with a lot of metaphysical people, all that, and then just finding it. And honestly, though, I do love some of the crystal decks that are out there, I wasn't finding one that had enough information that I could actually use it with tarot and with my magic work. So this deck kind of incorporates a whole bunch of things that I think is really informational, but then also it reads like an oracle. So you can just kind of use it multiple ways.
Yeah, I love that you have like everything on the back of the cards. Like every time I share your deck, I always talk about how everything's in one spot. So you don't have to like go through the guidebook. If you're not familiar with the actual crystal, you've got some energies and some information that you can really tap into. So this, of course, is one of my favorites, Tanzanite, which is about, opening up that third eye for me anyway. I spoke about this crystal actually in the northeast corner for wisdom and cultivation, knowledge cultivation. This was the crystal that I connected with in that space. But yeah, you have the chakras on here, you have the astrological signs, the affirmation and energy. And then what's also really beautiful is you've connected it to the flower correspondence. So what came about that? Like, how did you decide to incorporate flowers?
I love floral energy. And it's interesting because I'm not a great gardener. So for me, like if I put something in the ground, I'm like praying it actually stays alive. But I love all those energies together and scents, like I think when I think of florals, like scents immediately kind of come to me. And so I think it was just all of those sensory feelings, the visual of the crystal, the emotion of it, the sense of the flower, the feeling of the floral, and just kind of all those things together. And then the front of the card just having that splash of color that is the energy of the crystal. It was interesting as I got into the florals, I thought it was really interesting how the floral that had the same vibration as the crystal held almost the same colors in most cases. So it was just really cool as I, just started getting into all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, on all like a lot of like the sapphire, and then we've got the iris with that beautiful purpley indigo color connecting back to the color of sapphire. Yeah. And even this purple one, the tanzanite with the purple.
Yeah. Right. It's cool. And it's definitely, everyone has maybe their own interpretation or something that they've thought, like the keywords I put on the crystal or the floral association, someone else may associate it differently. So, it's kind of like on a personal level, but there's research that I've done, tons of research behind it, just to make sure that it's not only my intuition, but that it's something that relates just in general to what we're all learning.
Yeah, I think this is a great way to access all these crystals without having to go out and like purchase, like, go crazy at the crystal shop and just like binge.
Right. That was it. There's like 80, I can't even remember, 88 cards or something in the deck. The whole idea was to make the crystals very relevant. So you could either use that card, like you're saying, as the crystal itself, if you don't have that crystal, or they're easy to get. There's like five cards in there that are rare, like extremely rare. That was the stretch goal. So some of them you can only have the card, really, because you really can't get the crystal. So yeah.
What's one of those crystals that you're talking about?
I'm gonna say this wrong. Ganderite and pinite, or hold on. See, now I can't even remember the names because
I actually pulled them out because I was like, these are crystals that I don't have in my collection. Some of them I have never even heard of.
Yeah. Oh, painite is what painite is. Yeah, so gorgeous. It's like
this one.
Oh my gosh. I know. When I was researching, I was like, I am desperate for this crystal, but it looks like pink watercolor got trapped inside of a clear crystal. It's so cool.
How do you pronounce this?
Powderite?
Powder.
Yeah.
Like you're stumping me. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know like what these are. It's just amazing. But yes, the energy of this was the first card I pulled.
Oh, really? Oh gosh. So pretty.
The one I can't pronounce.
I know. You know what? Now that we're saying that, I should have put one of those pronunciation.
Yeah. Powder. Right. We're like totally butchering this, but that's okay. Maybe somebody can like send me a link and like how do you actually pronounce it? I'm the worst,
I am too,
but it's
actually.
absolutely gorgeous and I'm in love with it. And I'll have to
Yeah.
share it on Instagram or something to let people see what we're talking about. And of course, we'll have the audio version of this too, so they can see that. But yeah, it was just one of those things that was the first card I pulled. And I was like, I do not know what this is. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm extremely drawn to it.
Right. Yeah, and it's so hard to find. Ugh. Gosh.
But so in finding the images, how did you establish the images themselves of the crystals, especially the ones that are super rare?
Yeah, so I actually started trying to draw them, and I was like, you know what, I'm not feeling this, because I wanted the cards to act as the crystal for those that didn't have the crystal. So I went and made sure I used, royalty-free imagery, found it. It's amazing how long it takes to research finding the right image. I mean, that is just insane, because not many people are taking pictures of crystals, like in the way that you would use them to put on a card. So really looking for the right image. And then I did the watercolors in the background that really enhanced that crystal. So once I started actually doing crystal imagery, it just totally came together, because I really felt like the crystal was almost coming off of the page, so it just really felt like it was there with you.
Yeah, the crystal looks very three-dimensional. And I think probably part of that is the fact that it's a photo and then you have the watercolor behind it, which is...
Yes, exactly. Yeah, which pops it off.
Mm-hmm. They're just really clean, pretty cards. And I feel like you can connect them with any tarot deck that you're wanting to establish some sort of a connection with the crystal.
That was one of my big things, because I really like reading tarot with Lenormand, with crystals, and just being able to do a tarot reading and then pick one or two or three crystal cards that just kind of bring out the overall energy of that reading. And on the back of each card is an affirmation, which actually I'm finding super helpful when I do a tarot reading and then I lay down a crystal card. That affirmation, a lot of times for me, just sums up the reading. So it's that extra layer of like not only intuition, but something that the other thing was, when I do a reading, let's say like I lay down sodalite, and if I have that crystal, I would take that with me for the day. So it's kind of like you do a reading, you lay down the card, and then, oh, okay, I have that crystal, or I take the card with me for the day in my planner, like I'm a huge planner. So it's just kind of like one of those things where it just kind of adds that extra layer. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really fantastic as a way to connect with the crystals that you already have and explore something that you don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really. Yeah. And I mean, we can't, I have a lot of crystals, but it's hard to have all of them. I mean, like I have a huge bowl full of crystals, and then some of mine are huge, so they just obviously sit there and look really great and send off energy. But yeah, it's hard to like kind of acquire everything, and you want to be drawn to it. Like when I go to a crystal shop, if I'm looking for something specific, but if I'm not drawn to anything that I see of that crystal, I won't get it, so it's kind of like that, the energy versus what you're looking for, or maybe what you think you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm for sure. Like right now I am like purging crystals. I've got this hoard and I've just been like gifting them and giving them away. So I feel like this is helping me become a minimalist, especially since I have hoarded so many crystals that now I'm able to gift them out. And that's been really cool.
That is such a great idea. You know what the craziest thing? We here in our community, we have a crystal shop literally in our downtown. It's like a huge crystal shop. So it takes so much energy for me not to go in that shop. I'm like, no, no more crystals right now. But yeah, the deck does help, I feel like, not be so kind of like, I gotta go get this one or I gotta have it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can take a piece of quartz and program it to be whatever crystal you want, or even just connecting with your card allows you to connect with that. Same thing with like the flowers and, that you have on each one of these cards, because these flowers are only going to bloom for so long. And, but I think it's just beautiful to have something to look at, visualize it in your third eye, connect with the flower, see what message it has along with the crystal. I just think it's genius to be able to do this without consuming so much. I mean, I'm consuming your deck, but it's like, I don't know, for me, it feels good.
It does. And I think the thing that I was noticing too was I have a few crystal decks, but again, like I said, that I was kind of like using each of them to try to get the information, and it was just almost too much. And even though I think when we love tarot and metaphysical things, I think we collect it, right? Because it's just fun, but we grow as we learn and get new things, decks and whatnot. But it's nice to just simplify. Like, I really kind of like simplified. If I go out, I like to take 2 to 3 decks with me and not 6 or 7, like I gotta have this, which goes. So yeah.
I do the same thing. I'm a deck hoarder, I'm a crystal hoarder, and I'm starting to purge those out. So
Right.
So you had mentioned connecting with your cards, connecting with the crystal. If you have the crystal, putting it in your pocket. What other rituals are you doing to stay grounded or in your everyday life? Like, what is it that you're practicing as a sacred ritual?
Huge on meditation. I practice mediumship as much as possible. So for me, connecting to spirit and meditation is huge. And then usually, not every time, but after I meditate, and it's almost always in the evening, I'm actually trying to add a morning into my routine, but you know how it is, everyone's like running around and it's kind of crazy. I'll pull a tarot card or a crystal or even a Lenormand for what message did spirit want to give me through that meditation. So usually I just pull one card. I try not to get too like involved with it. But again, I am finding when I pull a crystal card, I don't know, the affirmation I feel like it's kind of the language of the deck. Like it's someone just saying that to me or to whomever that's pulling the card.
Yeah, it's a literal message. You can actually read it and say it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to know if anyone here has any questions. Well, before I get into that, because I am interested in this other piece, I know you also are a designer. Do you incorporate your practices, your spiritual practices in your work? And if so, how do you do that? And do your clients know? Like, how do you navigate that world?
Great question. Okay, so I would say I absolutely incorporate my metaphysical, my gifts with interiors. They don't know. One of the principals in my firm, she knows that I'm a medium and I do I actually give her the deck. She's so amazing. And I'll tell you, this is rare that could happen. But throughout my whole career, and I've been doing design for like 26 years, I read people. So I pull imagery from them. It's kind of like mediumship or psychic awareness, and then that helps me actually design spaces. So I design for tech companies, and I roll out a lot of projects, and I'm constantly pulling imagery from my clients, and that helps me move really fast. But I can't say, right, it's like, okay, I'm reading you, because everyone would be like, no. But it just makes the process so easy for me. And I caught on to this like I would say within the first 5 or so years of this career, that I was able to use my gifts to actually read what the space should be. And I'll tell you, it is a huge gift because I rarely have to go back and redo, knock on wood, anything I've designed. So that's only because I'm reading what they see in their heads, which is hard for people to express, right? It's hard for them to express what they want.
Yeah. And when you're reading them, are you getting a sense of like an energy, or are you seeing something in your mind's eye? Like, are you seeing color, or maybe you see the whole room already designed and that kind of gives you that
Yeah.
focus?
Yeah, I'm mostly clairvoyant, but I also I'll feel things, but I will see it. Like if I'm most of my spaces are roughly 20 to 50,000 square feet. And so I'll see the entire space. But then, you know how it is. You've got to put every little nook and cranny, pull it all together, find it all and pull it together. But design is a process, so it goes through phases. And so within those phases, I'll just kind of know more, right? I'll just see more. Just from working with the client more. And then also my process, it's kind of like unfolding a piece of origami. Like every time you unfold a piece, you just know more. Yeah, it's truly, it's crazy because we all have this gift in a different way. And it's like learning how to use it is just life-changing. Like it's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like so many people can implement this in their own journey or their own, careers.
Yes.
And like you, I mean, you're not telling, your clients all of the stuff that you've got going on. And I feel like so many people can also apply that to what they're doing. I try to, for the most part, all of my clients know that I'm out
Yeah.
of the closet.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't. And then, I'm doing things and they're kind of like, oh my God, like, it's just, there's an amazing connection there with those clients, and to be able to connect with them on another level that they aren't even aware of. But at the same time, they're coming to you and they want your design aesthetic. They want your eye, they want they want you to design the space in connection with their energy and their intention that they're bringing.
Yeah. It's tricky because like I'll deal with CEOs like of major companies, and I can't, so for me, I had like, it's so amazing. My boss knows because she then gets me when I say this is how it has to be. She's like, okay, that's fine. I mean, she almost never, it's just kind of automatic. But to tell like the CEO of like Zillow, by the way, I'm reading you, and you might be like, you're out of here.
Yeah.
So
He's like, what?
yeah, but yeah, it's really, they are their gifts. All these things that we all have, they're really gifts.
Amazing. Ugh, I just love it. And I love that I got to connect with you as another designer to kind of see how you're using these gifts and using this intuition, and how do you navigate it and how do you apply it, because everyone does it so differently. And I have a feeling that people are doing it and they don't even realize, that they're accessing.
That is so true. And I think a lot of that is, if you don't have a community or friends that you can go to and say, this is what I'm feeling, or this is what's happening, if it never gets talked about, it's hard for it to grow, right? Like if you don't water the plant, it's hard for it to grow. So I think the more that we all like talk about it and grow together, it just heightens everyone's intuition. Because I do feel like the more that you are aware of it and use it, the more that it will strengthen. It's always there, but it strengthens. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And do you connect your deck to the design projects? Are you pulling cards for your projects, or are you cross-pollinating in that way at all?
Not to design, but sometimes I will pull cards for my connection with the clients, because it's very corporate. Because I design for corporate, most of my clients I get along with, but we're dealing with so many people. You know how it is that energies, right? Sometimes we get along with people and sometimes we don't. That's just how energy works. So I do sometimes use cards if I'm in a situation where I need to better understand how I can work with that person. And I'll tell you, most all the time, I get the message that I need to bring kindness no matter what. Just always bring kindness. And in the end, that grumpy person usually turns around and is, yeah. So, but I will do that, but not for like the actual space. Yeah.
We do have a question from Jenna. And Jenna, do you want to ask your question out loud or do you want me just to read it? What is your preference?
I'll read it. So, how long did it take to create your deck? And second, are there spreads that you have written for your crystal deck?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So it took me, I would say, a little over a year. I was doing the Meraki Tarot, and actually, as that was in Kickstarter, sometime around there, I started the crystal deck. So it was kind of like over a year that this took. And I have in this crystal deck, there are some extra cards. And one of them is about using this deck with a crystal grid. And actually in the campaign, I had a cloth. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Rachel. In the campaign, I had a crystal grid cloth, and you could kind of use it for this. And right now, I have another Kickstarter coming up on April 18th, and it's actually the second edition of the Meraki Tarot. And I've written a book, and that book has layouts for the crystal cards and tarot. So I didn't specifically do a lot of layouts for this deck on this campaign, other than that for the cloth. But there are some in the new book coming up. Thank you.
Super cool.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying watching you as you're creating the new version of that deck, and just everything that you're making. It's just so beautiful, and I love the back of the card. I'm like a sucker for like the backs of cards. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the back have taken me almost as long as redoing the cards, which is like ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, it's so important. I feel like that's like the main thing. Like you're going to see that it has such a huge importance on the deck that you're working with.
Absolutely.
Did anyone else have any questions for Kerri?
I have a question.
Hey, Gabrielle.
Hi, sorry I was late. So you were talking a little bit earlier about discovering your gifts and learning how to use them in your job, and how it's like almost like, sounds like it's like training. So I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about how you discovered this and how you learned how to incorporate it into your work.
Absolutely. So really it started for me at the age of 3. So it goes back. At the age of 3 is when I started physically seeing spirit. And they'd kind of come to me, and you know, when you're younger and that happens, I do remember being a little frightened, but it really morphed over time. And then I wasn't scared. And then other kind of creepy things happen. You know, these things kind of morph. But then I think as we all just go through life and we get busy and we're going through high school and whatnot in our 20s, you know, things get pushed around a little bit and off to the side. And even though I was always tapped in, and I mean, I started tarot when I was 15 and crystal. So I was definitely always tapped in, but actually didn't really know that I was a medium, because again, it's like one of those things where you know, you have these experiences, but you don't really go to your family. And by the way, my family was very supportive of me, like extremely supportive, but they wouldn't really know to say, oh my gosh, I think you're a medium. You know, I think you need to. So that kind of came about because just the friends that I had, I was studying Wicca, and I just kind of had that group of friends that we could all really open up and explore and talk about it. And over the years, and actually the last couple years more recently, I've really been studying my mediumship with a mentor. So that has been just kind of like one of those things where I'm like, you know what, I really want to hone in on this specifically right now. But I think what it really is being aware that you have gifts, and start playing with it. There's so many ways that you can play with the gifts that you have, like ask for a sign, or think about, if you have a thought that comes into your head, write it down about something and see how it plays out. It might not be that day or that week, but really be aware. I feel like the more aware that you are, the more that comes to you. And also meditation is huge when you kind of are in your own space and you find that time to be within your soul and be within your spirit team and the spirits that surround you. Once you start kind of tapping in like that on a regular basis, it just starts becoming natural. And the more natural you make it, the more that you'll really see on a day-to-day basis, it just starts coming to you. Yeah, and that's why I say kind of like make it part of, or practice, like make it part of your day-to-day, because it's so easy for us to forget, right? Like we got to jump in the car, we got to do this, we got to do that, and the unseen goes on the back burner. But really the unseen is what we need to be in the forefront, so we can really better utilize how we're going about our day, how we're interacting with others, what is right for us, what is wrong for us. I've turned down jobs, I've turned down things that I know aren't right because I'm being told, I know that I shouldn't do that. So it's just a lot of and it's a lot of trust. Yeah, trusting in your gifts, and having fun with it, because it is fun. Once you get into it, I think it's just a lot of fun, really,
Yeah, it's like you're playing. It's like, oh, you get something and then you're like, all right, let me try this. And then you play with it and see what comes of it.
Yes. Yeah. And you'll see, like, on a daily basis, things will pop up. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Hope I answered that okay.
Yes, thank you. That's amazing. And it's funny what you said about trust. I was on a retreat this weekend, and that, I mean, I can't tell you how many times that flashed through my head.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. It is trust, because in mediumship, the one major thing that we learn is that if we don't believe we are connecting, there is no connection. There has to be an absolute belief that you are connected to source and to your own inner spirit and to spirit around you. So belief and trust, those are really huge.
Thank you. Yeah, that's huge. Kelly had a question. Kelly, do you want to ask, or do you want me to read?
I was just wondering if you had the favorite card, and how you picked the 88 crystals.
So my favorite crystal is lepidolite, and I actually wear it. I use it all the time because I think just because I'm like more of a sensitive person, and I think we all probably deal with this, I have a little bit more anxiety. I'm prone more to being anxious. Yeah, so I wear it. I have it like as a bracelet that I created, and I wear it every day. And a lot of times I'll hold it during meditation. And then in terms of picking the crystals, actually a lot of these I have. And so just knowing, and then research, what are the most common crystals, right? What are the crystals that you could go to the store and really get and have options when you're getting them? Not like there's one on the shelf and it's like $80, that you could go and find and pick something that resonates with you. And so that was really how I came up with them. And honestly, I could have done more cards. I was like, by the time I finished, I think I had 80. I was like, okay, this deck is gimungo. And I felt like if I didn't stop, people were going to be like, I can't even hold these cards. So there were more, but I felt like I just kind of had to stop but I do feel comfortable because I do feel like these, other than the 5, really rare ones, are very accessible to get.
You could do another, deck edition with
I was thinking of it. Yeah, like add-ons, extension pack. Yeah.
Yeah. The extension pack for sure.
Yeah, it goes on.
Did anyone else have any questions before we start pulling cards for everyone that's here? We're all good. We're ready. All right. Let's dive into some crystals here. I'm going to put these rare crystals back in the deck, even though I don't know how to pronounce them. So we'll see if any of them come through.
Yeah.
All right. So does anyone have a question for the crystals?
I have a question.
Yes, Kelly.
Okay. So I recently started a new personal project. It's kind of a creative project, and I just want to know if I'm going in the right direction.
All right, cool. So we're going to pull a card questioning if you're going in the right direction, and also if there's a crystal that can support you in this direction that you're going with. Peridot. You got some peridot. Mm-hmm. I always think of peridot I think there's a beach in Hawaii that's like the peridot beach, where it's just that green peridot, and I just always think of like that being like the most sacred beach ever, and it's just got this beautiful heart chakra vibration. So Kerri's words here are healing, purification, and comfort. So this new venture is giving you all of those things: healing, purification, and comfort. The chakra here is the heart chakra, vibration number 5. Astrological sign Leo, Virgo, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. So connecting with all of those signs. And I would encourage you to even go into your astro chart and just look and see if you have any planets in these signs and see where they're at and what houses they're in, to give you some
I'm a
insight.
Scorpio and Chris is a Leo, and I think this is his his stone or whatever for his birthday.
Yeah,
And I think that's funny.
Yeah, the August birthstone. Affirmation: when I allow healing energy in, I expand my horizons. Absolutely. Energies: peridot is a powerful cleansing and healing stone. It draws in positive energies, encourages mental, emotional, and spiritual growth. It enhances confidence and opens our minds to new levels of awareness. And the flower here is echinacea, and that's health, strength, and love. Kerri, do you have more insight or any additional information you want to give to Kelly connecting with this crystal?
Yeah, I would say this is really a great heart chakra crystal. And I would say if it's coming from heart, if you're feeling that this is something that resonates with you on that deep kind of core level, then it's the right thing to do. So really kind of let your heart speak to you. And I think if that is what it's saying, then that is the path. Yeah. I also feel like this is such a fluid crystal. And I'm just kind of getting the word fluid. So it's like, let it, don't put boundaries on it, right? Let it just kind of be what it wants to be for you. And that may morph and change as you're figuring out how to navigate it.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you both.
Yeah, I love that word fluid. So it's like just being able to let it morph and change and take it with you, like being in that flow. Mm-hmm. All right, who's next?
I would just have a general, what do I need to know question. And can you repeat the name of the, what you have as a bracelet you were saying?
Oh, yeah, lepidolite.
Lepidolite.
Yeah, and you know what? I would spell that, but that would be. Let me see if I can find the. I know.
I'll put it. Gabrielle, I'll give it to you, and I'll put it in the show notes. Let me see if I can find it really fast.
Okay, that's fine. I'm sorry. I know you held it up, and I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, it's purple. It's really, it kind of almost looks a little bit like amethyst, but it sort of has, it's interesting. It's sort of like a chalkier stone, if that's going to make sense, but it has sort of a drier feel to it.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Hey,
It's a beautiful stone for anxiety and for calming.
thank you.
Mhm. All right, so Gabrielle, I'm going to pull a card for you. So our all-knowing question of what do I need to know? Red jasper. That's a strong stone right there. So you've got nurturing, grounding, and tranquility. So I'm seeing here just like this, oomph, like this major grounding back into your root. This is root chakra, vibration number 6. This is connected to Aries and Taurus, which is the season that we're in. We're in Aries going into Taurus. So this is really going to get you back into your body. It's grounding you back in. It's centering you. Affirmation is, I'm stronger when I'm supported and nurtured. And the energies are red jasper works gently and slowly to ground energies. It's a nurturing stone for those that are sensitive, and it aids in stabilizing the aura. It comforts us in times of stress and provides courage. And your flower here is stone crab, tranquility, peace, and nurturing. So lots of nurturing energy for sure.
I'm kind of getting, do you write? Do you journal?
I write. I'm not that good at journaling, but I've done a lot of that in the past couple days.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting writing almost as if you kind of like took a week and just kind of like wrote down like everything you're feeling. Could be fragments or words or something, but just kind of free write. I almost feel like that would really even ground you, center you, and direct you even more, like along with that card energy. There's something about writing, so I don't know if that might help you.
No, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
I'll jump in. Similar question of just like, what do I need to know too? Because everything's just been like, woo, lots been happening.
Ooh, you got some bloodstone. And more grounding. It's a lot of grounding. Grounding, detoxifying, and balance. So again, another root chakra stone, vibration number 4, connecting to Aries, Libra, and Pisces. Affirmation, I welcome transformation and intuition into my life. Energies, bloodstone is composed of green chalcedony and hematite, creating red spots. This combination creates a powerful healing stone that grounds negative energy and cleanses the body. It enhances creativity and balance. And the flower here is columbine, detoxify, strength, and happiness. So tons of detoxification and grounding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm also getting for this communication. I don't know if that seems important for you right now, but communicating, and that just may mean opening up things that you need to say, and I also kind of feel like it stores itself in your solar plexus. And so I think that might help release. I don't know if that makes sense, but communication and just sort of like releasing the energy in your midsection, I think.
Yes, I was planning on having a chat with my boss tomorrow, so just around like growth and development and like where I feel like I haven't been seeing that and how I'm really longing for it. So
yeah. Okay, because the word, so clear communication and staying true to your wants and needs. Yeah,
and that totally connects with your solar plexus and juicing that up before going into that meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, who do we have next? We have Jenna or Deborah?
I'll go. I've really enjoyed tonight. This was nice. Today, I felt like I faced my past, my present, and my future. To ask Spirit to make sense out of this for me, all in one day.
Wow, that's huge. Okay, let's see what we've got here as some additional insight with the past, present, and future. And you have selenite.
Mm.
Consciousness, spiritual connection. So there's some connection for sure that it's showing you all at once. What's happening. We've got crown chakra. So you're kind of on the opposite side of the spectrum of coming up into that crown, really connecting with source, vibration number 8. And astrological sign here is Taurus, another Taurus energy. Affirmation, I am connected to my higher self and one with source energy. Selenite clears, opens, and activates the higher chakras. It is a companion to all spiritual work and meditation, enhancing peace and calm. It helps to create peaceful space and protects us when working with the angelic realm. The flower is rock foil, devotion, passion, peace, and affection.
Mm-hmm. And Deborah, are you missing people? Are you having?
I went to a wake
Okay.
this afternoon, and I saw all people from my childhood.
Okay.
So,
I'm seeing someone passing, but I'm feeling missing. It's almost like a nostalgia, or missing generational people. I love those moments because I think we get so caught up in what we're doing now that time goes by so fast. I think it's really important to recall or think about those that have passed or people you haven't seen in a long time. I think nostalgia can be good, but it's very emotional. So yeah, I think it's good to be in that moment, though.
yeah, it was the last mom that had passed away. Like all our moms are gone now, and they were all girlfriends, and we all grew up together.
Yeah.
In a very close-knit, diverse community in New Jersey. And, we were all feeling it, but just enjoying it. It was sad, but enjoy being with each other, knowing our mothers were all together on the other side.
That's great. You guys were all together. Yep.
Yeah. It was beautiful. And you could feel their spirit. You really could,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel it. Yeah, absolutely. Good.
Yeah. They were all beautiful women and beautiful moms, and, in the 60s.
Right. Yep. Oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's beautiful. I love that. Just like having, and I feel like all those moms were like just welcoming her over into that space and bringing her back into that circle.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. All right, Jana, you're the last one. And
Okay, I'll go last. So I'm in the last 6 weeks of my school year at work, and it has been a rat race. Any insight into if this is where I'm staying, if this is a good thing, or I'm going to have to start looking again for something else?
I feel like you're constantly on this journey of shifting and changing, and
It's frustrating. I just wanted to kind of end for a little bit.
rest here. See what we've got for a crystal that can help. Blue Chalcedony. And this is calm, harmony, and communication. This is one of my favorite crystals because it has such a beautiful energy about the calmness of it and the tranquilness of it and the harmony of it. This is throat chakra, vibration number 9. Astrological sign is Cancer, Libra, and Sagittarius. Affirmation, I am open to expression and harmony in my actions. Blue Chalcedony promotes harmony while absorbing negative and anxious energy. It gives great support for public speaking and communication with other realms. It has an angelic connection and overall soothing vibration. The flower is wishbone flower, which is happiness, charm, and harmony.
Okay, that's really interesting because we have to really speak up when we want to do things like, or we want something at the work because there's like 33 of us. And like what they said is we can't make any guarantees. And this week, my mom really said, you're having a meeting with your boss. So you really have to like speak up and like tell her things that she doesn't really know about you, that you've been like kind of like not hiding, but just that they're not aware of, that could be beneficial to keep me if they wanted to. So that makes sense. And the school's color is that blue, that yellow, and that white too. So that's very interesting.
Oh, wow.
Thanks. That makes me feel a little bit better. So I guess I'm gonna have to get some of that and put it on my work desk here so I know for sure. Is it accessible? Like you can really get it places? Okay.
Oh, yeah, that crystal.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get this crystal. Like I said, it's just the most beautiful blue. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it just has that calming effect to it. And again, it's going to activate that throat because it's that beautiful sky blue color that's going to.
That makes sense because we're talking all day long and sometimes 12 to like 16 hours a day, like last week. And we're on phones and on screens, literally talking. So the throat chakra makes sense because like if you don't talk, you can't do your job. And I was talking with a coworker today and we were dealing with a kid that was living out of their car for the last 3 weeks. So actually to have those tough conversations is what we're doing every day. So that makes 100% sense.
Mm. Wow. That's interesting. I'm not sure exactly what you do, but I keep getting the word healing. I don't know if is that, so I'm sort of seeing you're healing or you're helping others, but you also need healing. You know that thing where you give, if you constantly give but you don't give back, it sort of drains you and it's harder to maintain giving. Does that make sense?
100%. I'm an online educator. That's what I do for like high school students that are also at the college level too. So that's exactly it. And they're not from the best area, but the school where they're affiliated with is very affluent, if that makes sense. So like, we're providing them all these really great services, but like their physical situation and their mental situation and some of the things, it's pretty intense.
It's very challenging. Yeah. Lots of giving, it's draining, right? It drains.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost feel as though also too, that's sort of like something that you might still be learning is how to balance that and how to, I just keep seeing kind of like give back to yourself or replenish yourself so you can really do what you love. I also think that when you do kind of balance it all out, because I think if I'm reading it right, there's maybe a little bit of uneasiness on how to balance it all out, right? When you do, it'll come easier. Like, and I don't know, you said you were moving around a lot or jumping around. Maybe it'll start like evening that playing field so you can stay in one space, if that makes sense.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Kerri, should I pull you a card?
Yeah.
So it's fun to like have someone pull our cards for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, crystal. Fair chord.
Actually, that's a perfect one right now. Yep.
Healing amplification intention.
Yeah. And by the way, intention is with an do you know what's so interesting? I put intention and I meant it that way, but I have gotten some people, I think you spelled it wrong. I'm like, you know what? I think if I redo this, I am going to spell it the other way, but I did mean it that way. Intention with an S. But yeah, I actually need that card right now because the clear quartz kind of goes across all lands, right? It like amplifies everything. So there's so much going on right now, and with the Kickstarter coming up and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is everything. It's all the chakras, it's all the astrological signs. It's available everywhere. It's the most common crystal. Like everyone pretty much has access to it. I radiate with the highest vibration is your affirmation. Energies of clear quartz is one of the most universal crystals with the versatile ability to amplify all the things around it. With its endless possibilities, it aids in clearing negativity and facilitates connection with higher realms and the higher self. And we've got the calla lily as our corresponding flower, faithfulness, purity, and rebirth.
Lovely. Thank you.
I'm going to pull a card for myself, and then I'm going to pull one for everybody that's listening. And then if you're in Patreon and you're watching this later, feel free to connect with me and I'll pull you a card because we're a little bit after the hour. So I don't want to, there's a lot of us here. So just send me a message. So this will be a card for myself, and then we'll pull a card for the group. So we've got lapis lazuli, which is one of my most favorite stones. This is the stone that I connect with, like the high priestess, leadership, and empowerment. And I have intuition, purification, inner power. This always reminds me of the high priestess. And we've got throat chakra, vibration number 3. Astrological sign is Libra and Sagittarius. I am confident in my spoken word is my affirmation. Lapis lazuli amplifies the power of the spoken word. It aids in clear communication and speaking in large groups. It connects the physical and spiritual realms, providing a peaceful and clear awareness. And my flower is I don't know how to pronounce this, amaryllis.
Oh, amaryllis.
Amaryllis. Confidence, pride, and communication.
Wow, that's pretty you right now, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm absolutely in love with that stone. And I'm going to pull a card. And of course, we're in circles. So all the crystals that we pulled for everybody here totally connects with everyone that's going to be listening now and into the future. So I will pull a collective card as well. Emerald. Expression, healing, and prosperity. Yes, we all need that. Heart chakra, number 4. Aries, Gemini, and Taurus. The courage to follow my dreams, manifest abundance. That's the affirmation. Emerald draws in energies of pure love. It can encourage the bond between people and community. It also helps with expression and communication while enhancing mental clarity. It is a stone of prosperity and courage. And the flower here is myrtle, prosperity, good fortune, and love to everybody. What a beautiful card to end all of this. All of our readings connecting with this. I love it. All right, Kerri, what do you got brewing? I know you've got some things happening on Kickstarter and you've got a deck happening. What's the scoop?
The deck is so it's the second edition of the Meraki Tarot, and then also a workbook. So I did a really great workbook with it, which will be in the campaign, and it's April 18th that it'll launch on Kickstarter. And yeah, here's the back. Here's a little.
So pretty.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm excited about this. It's fun to do one edition and then that was it, right? No more printing of that one, and then just reimagining it. It's been great. So that's coming soon. And then other things, but
That's the big thing. Yeah, send me a reminder so that I can let everybody know when that's live and ready to go, and can do a beautiful push for it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I love having you here. And I don't know if you all know, but Kerri is part of our Patreon. So she's here with our community, and it's just been really lovely to have her here with all of us and connecting with us and being able to share her gifts. It's been really cool.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. This was fun today.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to dabble into some other things. Tarot is super fun, but being able to play with crystals is a whole nother game.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Holistic Interior Design Business podcast. If it's one that you have been enjoying, please share with anyone else that you think can benefit from this knowledge, and leave us a 5-star review. That helps us get seen and found by other new and aspiring interior designers. And if you're looking for mentorship, I invite you to join our club here at the Design Coven. It's a bridge between school and real life interior design. We get in much deeper there. We have virtual and in-person events, so everyone is welcome. You don't need to have a design degree to be part of it, just an interest in holistic interior design. I also want to thank our editor, Marcy Ferry, and lastly, Kinseth Thibodeau, who is our music composer. Until next time, be well, and we will see each other soon.